I've never been as mad as I was watching that Holly Holm fight.
Why?
Watching the fight.
Because of the...
Well, here's what I think. I think if you hit someone after the bell and it's really clear, it should be an immediate point deduction, and they should be given time to recover more than a minute.
Well,
that's just an opinion.
I agree with you.
When it's twice...
I agree with you, but here's why I disagree with you. I'm even more extreme. I think that hitting someone after the bell is grounds for a disqualification.
Yeah.
Because bam,
hands go down, your whole mindset changes. You're not expecting it.
She definitely heard the bell. The guy was stepping in. She threw the shots. It's grounds for disqualification. I fought. You know, it's been a long time, but I did, and I heard bells, and I didn't hit anybody afterwards. You know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Well, if you do the point deduction, Holly wins that fight or a draw for sure.
Germaine Randamie is fucking awesome. She's an awesome fighter. I mean, she's a 46-0, 10-time world Muay Thai champion, and for that to happen with her, it upsets me in two ways. One, it upsets me because Holly got fouled, and two, it upsets me because she's a great fighter.
Right.
For her to do something like that, I was like, why did you do that? Don't do that.
Yeah.
And she rocked Holly. The problem is when you rock someone, who knows how much that affects them for the rest of the fight.
Right.
I mean, Holly is so badass. She not only came back from that, she came back from that, wound up head kicking Germaine, dropping her, and then rocking her.
That short little hook that she threw that it looked like an elbow at first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a straight left? I thought it was like a hook
when
coming
Holly
in.
rocked her, it was a straight left.
It was a straight left that she was coming in, so it was just really short then.
Perfect shot.
Yeah. She's an incredible
striker.
striker.
She's so badass. And that question mark kick that she hit her with over the top of the shoulder, drops down and hits her in the head.
Isn't it funny, though, that she doesn't fight like a boxer in the octagon at all? She fights much more like an American kickboxer.
Well, because she was also an American kickboxer. And she's also trained by Mike Winklejohn, who's like one of the best American kickboxers from his era.
Yeah.
He was world class in his time. He's really good. I mean, he fought Rick Rufus.
Right.
He fought some really good guys. He's a great striking coach, man.
Well, very similar to when I'm in Dallas, Guy Metzger. Very similar style to that kind of stand-up kick. Not as much head movement.
Guy Metzger's a good friend of mine. I love that guy.
He's really just an awesome guy. I won't get into personal stories, but he's done some
really
really
nice
nice things.
Making out?
No, does some really nice things for people. I mean, he's the exact example of when people say fighters are meatheads. He's just a really kind-hearted guy.
Well, he's definitely not a meathead. I'm more of a meathead than him for sure. He's not just a kind-hearted guy. He's very intelligent, soft-spoken. You never hear Guy Metzger yelling at people, and he's also, he's worked really hard to mitigate some of his brain trauma and been really open about it, which I think is very, very, very important because it's like this silent thing that guys don't want to talk about the issues that they're dealing with from fighting.
Yeah. Well, he also, did you ever hear the story about when he got into the fight in a parking lot? It was like a bunch of guys who jumped him. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, well, how long? This wasn't that long ago.
No, you're probably thinking of the one where the guy had a knife and actually stabbed him in the hand because he got in between an altercation between a woman and you just don't do that when a woman and a guy are fighting.
Stay home.
No, this was something. Maybe he may not want me to tell the story, but it was in a parking lot. Something happened. I don't know how it started, but what happened was there were 3 or 4 guys, and all he did was he grabbed one guy, just got him to the ground somehow, and put him in a chokehold. And he told his friend, he said, "If you come forward, I'm going to choke your friend out." And they just got back into their RAV4, closed the doors. He let the guy go. They were gone.
That's a really nice person. Most people would have just choked that guy out.
Well, he's a striker. He could have really hurt him.
Yeah.
That's kind of the beauty of grappling. You can hurt them or not as much as you want to.
Right.
And Guy Metzger is a very high-level striker. I mean, he's not known as a grappler. So that's I think.
Well, he's a grappler, too. He choked out Tito Ortiz in
that's true.
One of his first UFCs.
He just won Worlds at Brown in the senior division.
Did he really?
Yeah, in the gi.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's still competing and doing that stuff. He's a pretty awesome guy.
That's a nice thing for people that don't want to strike anymore. I know Babalu Sabral, he's been doing a lot of grappling competitions and stuff. You know, guys that just have taken a lot of head trauma, a lot of crazy fights, long careers. Yeah, they still like to compete. They can do that, and and Babalu has. I think it's Babalu's Iron Gym. I think that is what he calls it, and he's got a really nice high-level gym down in Orange County. And that's
an explanation. Every time parents taking their kids for lessons, they walk in and see Babalu.
He's a
great guy, but they have to do that kind of. All right, let me.
You see the tattoos up his neck.
Yeah. Parents are going to be a little apprehensive.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy, and he's a real pioneer. Babalu was in the early days of fighting. There's a fight with him and Brad Kohler. It's one of the fucking scariest knockouts ever because it was back when you could soccer kick on the ground.
Yep.
And he dropped Brad Kohler because Babalu was one of the first Brazilian wrestlers, which a lot of people don't know. I mean, he was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and very good striker and all those things. things. But he also was on the Brazilian national wrestling team back in the day.
Yeah.
And so Brad Kohler, who's like this really beefed up, fucking just jacked dude, couldn't touch him on the feet, and Babalu eventually got him tired out. And when he dropped him, got him down to the ground, he fucking soccer kicked him into oblivion. And it was just those days when you could soccer kick someone who was already tired and down. Yeah. Those are dark days.
But to put into context, the Brazilian national wrestling team, they'd be like benchers to Oklahoma State wrestlers. It's just not even the same level.
Maybe, but a high-level wrestler is a high-level wrestler.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's like Sarah McMahon. She was silver at the Olympics. And I remember when people said she was going to beat Ronda with her wrestling. I'm like, well, hold on a second. The talent pool in women's wrestling is nowhere near where it is at judo at that point. I mean, you just have women in Japan in judo who are animals. Kayla Harrison, too, if you've been following her. She was actually one of the first guests on our show. She's just a monster.
Yeah.
There's no one in female wrestling, no one who would even come close to her level of experience with the
And the same could be said about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which isn't in the Olympics yet, but really should be, is there's some phenomenal, like, have you seen Mackenzie Dern? Have you seen her compete in MMA?
I haven't seen it. Well, yeah, I saw
highlights. She has
highlights.
one of the most badass chokeouts that I've ever seen in my life. She started with an omoplata, worked her way to this girl's back. She's got this move that she does where she gets a girl in an omoplata and she rolls over onto her back and chokes this chick out. And apparently, she hits this move all the time.
Well, they teach something similar to that at Marcelo Garcia's school in New York, where if ever someone's turtling, you wedge your knee into their ribs and their hip crease, and you kind of get around. It's not quite an omoplata, but you're bringing your other leg around their front. And you're wrapping and you're blocking. If let's say you're coming in from your right side, you block their left arm, which is something we actually would learn in judo quite a bit. A really basic back.
So you block it by taking an underhook.
Yeah.
And
so you're putting a knee in and you're grabbing wrist control around. So you're not putting a hook in. And when you control this, the way they taught it to me, like if you watch Marcelo Garcia, they'll just go for the choke straight from there. They don't even need to get their hooks in.
Right.
And then you have Clark Gracie who does the omoplata roll to the lapel choke. I mean, it really is omoplatas. I don't think there's been a submission from that in a long time. But
there's only
it's a great
one
setup
ever in the UFC history. It was Ben Saunders. This is Mackenzie Dern. Watch how she does this. And the thing is also is that she's hot as fuck. And so she gets the omoplata. The girl tries to roll. Yeah. Now watch how she handles this. When she gets her from this position, no, you got to go back. You got to go back.
See, I shouldn't even have her hooks in. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's just a highlight video. Oh, so she doesn't need the hook. No. What she does is she rolls. And you don't see it from that position.
Well, that's a lot like a no-gi version of Clark Gracie's omoplata lapel choke.
Let me see if they show it here. What she does is she gets up, and when she gets up on her hip, the girl rolls, and now watch how she scrambles. Now she takes her right arm. They don't show it. She takes her right arm and she rolls underneath the girl.
Yeah.
Anyway, her dad is Megaton Diaz, who's world famous.
Yeah.
Very, very respected Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. But there's one of the coolest things about jiu-jitsu is it's almost like sentences and languages. There's so many different ways you can go with things.
Yeah.
There's so many different possibilities. It's almost never ending.
Well, there's a guy like my dad, he's in his 50s and hasn't lost a point, let alone a round, competing up to purple belt. And he competes against guys who are 40 in open weight because there's no one his age. And, he played hockey, U of M, high-level athlete. And he's not super flexible. He's not going to do a guard game. He got really good at takedowns, really good at trips, really good at guard passing, and side control, a few chokes, paper cutter choke, things like that. And he's diverse enough where he can protect himself in areas. But that's one thing, too. When I was helping coach him for his first tournament, I'm like, listen, in training, you want to work these positions. You want to work your guard. You want to work your half guard. But there's nothing that says in the competition you can't stuff the head, get up, and just come up on top. And when he realized that, when he competes, it's just getting out, getting on top. And if he gets on top, he's going to pass, at his level, at a purple belt level.
Yeah, but the problem with that strategy is it only works with someone who's weaker than you. Like, as soon as you find someone who's better at that game than you have to have other options. Well, so if he's not good off of his back, someone's eventually going to put him on his back.
Well, he's pretty good on his back.
Well, that's good, then.
But in a tournament, the point is there's no unwritten agreement where we're working passing.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So he can try his, a scissor sweep, which is a big thing for him as a strong guy. And if it doesn't work, he can do a technical standout and come up.
Well, Helson Gracie has the best description of jiu-jitsu. He said, you do this, then I do that, then you do this, then I do that, forever. Yeah. I love that. Because it's like if you try jiu-jitsu, you go, yeah, that is what it is, until someone taps. Like Rickson Gracie has always been famous for saying about other athletes, other competitors, that if they can't keep the rhythm, they will lose. They
My
will lose.
Randamie.
Meaning, not like George St. Pierre, but like meaning that he keeps attacking and you keep defending, you keep attacking. Eventually, you're going to slip up,
Right.
and he's going to get a dominant position.
Sure.
And then once from there,
I'm not saying he's world class. I'm just saying he's able to learn a game.
I know you want to brag about your dad. It's
Yeah,
okay.
he's
Have another
pretty
drink. Come on, bro. Cheers.
Oh, thank you.
Clink.
Gentleman Jack, I guess, on there. Oh, no, that's normal Jack.
This is regular Jack.